Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is the 6th January over here. And what a move we had on pound yen. These were the levels plotted out from yesterday when we sent the analysis in the Asian session. The whole idea was that for price to break above 140.100, which we broke above, made a high at around 140.300, came down to retest the low, and then it was complete easy, simple buys. Someone can argue that, oh, you're like, what, we had this range about like 11 pips away, but no. We had the target at like 140.400. It's like 20 pips away because you anticipated the volume to continue pushing price bullish. Let's see here. All right, let's bring this stuff all the way to the right hand side. We got our pairs in, and yeah, I think for the London session it was pretty nice. So I guess now we're going to try to see if we're going to break above 140.400 to continue moving bullish, or are we going to start to consolidate here for the New York session. So we're going to bring our stuff over here now. We got pound. We're going to bring up your JPY. What's this? Good morning. This was my first trade of the day. Was this a probability of a loss, or did I miss something? Okay. I think when you take losses, a really good thing to do at that point is also to see that, okay, how could you have had a winning trade? Because without looking at that and just saying, oh, I took a loss, it's not going to help you at all. So we're going to take a look at that over here. Let's take a look at this here. Actually, we're going to take a look at that later. We're going to do some breakdowns here. All right, so looking at pound yen, we've obviously came up towards 140.450. We're rejecting that now. Looking at price action right now, what's going on is we're basically coming down, and the only thing I see over here is that this is where price created a minor resistance before. So as we're in an uptrend in this range, so this is a pretty big range, right, from 140.100 all the way towards 140.450. This is a 36 pip range, right? So in this 36 pip range, we need to see that what will price create a support here or not? Because here's the thing, right? What I'm looking at here is now obviously we have a resistance up at 140.450. That's very self-explanatory, right? There's no confusion in that. What I want to see is, are we going to come down and create a support? If we create a support, then we have some basis to play off, right? Because if price creates a support on 30-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame, and if we break that support, then we can have a counter trend move coming down, and let's say if that support is created around 143.20 or 300, we have like almost like a 20 to 25 pip range for price to continue down. So that's going to be really important to see if we create a support here or not. If the support is formed, then we could see that, okay, now we need to break above 140.450 to possibly continue on towards 140.600. So the first order of business on pound yen is to wait to see if we create a support or not, or if we start breaking above 140.450, continue moving bullish to, let's say, 140.600. Because looking to the left hand side, I think that's going to be a next easy target right over here, because this is the last time price kind of like consolidated, ranged here, rejected here. So that's going to be the next target that I'm going to be looking for. So let's place it like this, 140, around 140.600, and then eventually we should continue up towards 140.770. So these are the two levels I'm going to target here today if we start breaking above 140.450 here. Can you give me your opinion about the trade I took in pre-London? Oh, probably later on. Let's take a look here. All right, this is 15-minute chart. Price, oh, this is at this resistance area over here. Price went up 7 pips in profit and then retraced, so I closed half entry, rest position, bearish candle close. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, it was just like price went up a lot. So if you look on the 30-minute time frame, so if you look on the 15-minute time frame right over here, so this was your buying idea for price to continue moving up. But I guess this was also the 30-minute candle close. So 30-minute candle closed, I mean, with the wick, because the 15-minute candle closed bearish here. So it was just, I think it was too late for buys. Good buys were right down over here, or even right over here with the anticipation prices to continue on towards 144.50. But other than that, I guess we're just waiting over here. Let's take a look at your JPY. Let's take a look at the 4-hour here. So let's remove all this analysis. Let's take a look at the daily because we're still ranging here. We're slowly coming out of this range here as well. We're coming up to a really strong resistance on your JPY around 126,900. So looking on the 4-hour, at the same time we see that price created a resistance at the same level. I think this was on, yeah, the last week of December there, just before the New Year's. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, this is actually a pretty strong resistance at this point. But also, another thing we have a support formed over here. So now we have this range, and this is a 20 pip range. And we know that if price breaks below the support, then there's a very high probability for price to continue down and kind of like correct this move up. But if we start breaking above this resistance at 126,920, then we know that next target should be around 127,100, 127, 130, 140. We can start to target those areas. And even though we have these rejections in the middle as price starts to go up, we can basically say that, okay, like, if price breaks above 126,920, we're anticipating the volume to keep driving price up towards 127, 100, that area over there. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at pound yen over here to see if we kind of like break above 144.50 to continue up, or are we going to create a support? Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of a waiting over here now. With so much news coming in, is it safe for new people to start trading this week? I think it is. I'm going to start trading from 11th January. I'm waiting for my platform to be up, and once that's up, then I'm going to start trading on that. Probably like next week, early next week. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at gold over here. Let's do a little bit of a breakdown on gold. See what's going on. Ooh, we're at 1950. We're still at the same level from yesterday. 1950, 1952. Haven't really broken up over here. So let's remove all analysis like this. Let's go towards the daily time frame. Looking at the daily actually went up towards 1959. This is a strong rejection area. Because look, the last time, how many times price has rejected this area? We rejected it back on the first week of November when the Moderna vaccine or Pfizer vaccine was announced. Price fell. Before that, we rejected that in September. So so this is going to be a very interesting area to see that what price action will gold start to develop to maybe continue down here or maybe move up. So we're going to take a look at that on the 4-hour time frame. Looking at it, what we can see clearly, the first thing we see on the 4-hour is that we're creating a resistance at 1958, 1958.50. At the same time, we're also creating a support down at 1943, measuring this range. This is like a 140 pip range, right? Pretty big range, so we gotta break it down into smaller ranges here. So looking at the 1-hour time frame, we're just rejecting, coming down. Looking at the 30-minute time frame now, because we want to see some sort of a structure formed. I think really good structure is going to be formed on gold if we start creating a support on gold, right? So this is really important. Whenever price is moving down like this, right, in this big range, you need a support to be formed, because if a support is formed, then you can start talking about, okay, like, what, we formed a support in a 140 pip range, and I mean, if the support is held, then there's a high probability for price to continue moving up, because we had this clean candle here to the left hand side. So that'll mean that we have a pretty nice range of about 60 pips, right? But if that support starts to get broken, then you can start to have conversations around that, okay, the support was formed, it's being broken now, so what if we can continue moving down, like, at the stronger support we had around 1943. So we'll have to wait here a little bit, especially on pound yen here as well. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 30-minute chart, new high created. Option B to wait for candle to close above. Option A to wait for support to buy, retest new low. Okay, that makes sense. We'll see what happens here in about a few hours and see where price can move on to. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. 36 trade zone with 30-minute bearish candle above 350. Wait for 30-minute bearish candle closed and enter a buy. Okay, that makes sense. So you're looking for price to create like a bullish candle to continue moving up. And then this is the same area we have as sort of like a rejection right here. I'm not marking this off because I'm waiting to see if price is going to create a support here or not. Let's see here. Could you give me an opinion about the trade I took in pre-London? Oh, actually, we can't do that. We're going to take a look at what we can expect to happen. What's your viewpoint on these two candles? Would you consider this as a resistance, or are you strictly looking for the most recent zones? This is going to be a resistance, right? Because if you look on the smaller time frame, 30-minute time frame, it's like a minor resistance there. Someone is sending a picture from their computer. We can't open it from your computer because obviously we don't have access to your computer files. So we can't open it. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Buy zone, sell zone. See, this is the thing. We had this minor resistance here before, and we don't know whether price will reject it or not. So we want this current candle to see if it's going to create some sort of a support or not. So it's a little bit of a waiting situation over here. So we wait for a support at 143.25, and if it continues bearish, close bearish, we take counter trend. Well, you don't have to take counter trend. You have to see if it's going to move that way, and we don't even know where price is going to create a support. This is just a hypothetical area here that if price creates a support here, then we can continue moving down or up if that support is broken or respected. So we just have to wait whether the support is going to be formed, or we have to wait whether the 30-minute candle is going to close above this area to move up or not. The reason I'm not looking at the 15-minute, because there's a lot of mess on the 15-minute, right? It's not clear, it's very dirty, it's just not the best thing to look at, so that's why I'm looking at the 30-minute, because on a 30-minute we have a clean rejection, candles closing below, so just need one 30-minute candle to close above this area and then anticipate price to move up. That's something that I'm looking for here. Started watching a video for over 2 months now. Started to change my trading plan. Now I'm up £15,000 after just 1 month of discipline. Oh wow, crazy! That's amazing. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Could you please check to this GJ trade idea? Let's see here. So we have 30-minute chart, strong 1-hour zone that price rejected over here. Looking for buys if price breaks above 30-minute candle high to continue bullish. See, now here's a little bit of an issue, right? You don't want the 30-minute candle to break the candle high. What you want to do is you want a candle to close above these areas, right? Because here's why. What you want to do is you want to wait for a candle to kind of like close something like this over here, because if you can get a candle closing like this means that this candle is closing above these 4 candles here to the left, which means now there's a high probability for the next candles to continue moving bullish. But if you wait for the high to get broken, then you're missing out on a part of a move. Your stop is going to be pretty big, and I don't think that's something I would want to do. So I would want to wait for price to either like for a candle to print above this area and then see where we can go from there. So right now price is moving down. It's totally okay, totally fine, because we want some sort of a support to be formed to give us some good solid ideas where price is going to go. Let's take a look at this chart here. Could you please look at this chart and see if this is a valid trade? 30-minute candle close above 561, breaks the high in the second half of the candle. Yeah, that's good. If you're looking to break above that level, that's good. Perfect. I'm just looking at the 30 minutes. See, all ideas are good. It just depends on how you're going to manage the trade once you take that trade. What's this? This is... When I'm waiting like this, in this case for the prices to break and close above the zone, how can I entry avoiding a possible fake out? See, fake outs are meant to happen. You can't ignore fake outs. You can't run away from fake outs. I mean, if you get a candle closing above 144.50 and you take a trade, you're taking a trade understanding that there's a possibility for price to continue moving because candle closed above. But then also there's a less possibility that the next candle can continue back down in the range and you get faked out. So it's all about probabilities. There's a high probability for price to move in your direction, and then there's a lower probability for price to not move in your direction, and that's where you manage risk, and you have these risk strategies that you want to imply to make sure you lose less than what you expected. Let's take a look at this. We already looked at that. So Forex with a cause from the Gulag. We got Forex with a cause. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a gold 5-minute chart. Closed 67% of position at the close of the impulse candle. Stops to BE. We spoke on live. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember the name, Forex with a cause. We spoke on live, and once you told me that your friend who used impulses on daily start to backtest. Oh, very nice. Beautiful. 5-minute chart. You made it happen till 1957-58. Very nice. EST Mon traders, watch out. There's a restricted news event that comes out at 9 a.m. Imagine you're trading on a platform where you can't trade certain times. Alright, let's take a look at this. We have, okay, this is some big things happening over here. We got ADP also. They're looking at bad numbers for ADP. So I'm going to be waiting to see what happens with the US dollar and gold. Because now, for people who don't know what ADP is North America's biggest payroll administrator. Like sometimes when you get your paychecks in North America, you'll see that on the top left corner or top right corner, it's going to say ADP. So basically what they say, hey, company ADP, give us the number of payrolls you guys, administered during the last month. So then they give them the number. So that number is then used to see where NFP can go. So we're going to see what happens here with ADP at around 8:15. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Ooh, access denied. Wrong chart. I know you don't like crypto, but it's the same setup and the trade is still going 80% gain. Let's take a look over here. Oh, nice. Very nice. This is on a daily time frame. Entered after second bullish candle. And wow, it's going very nice. Beautiful. I think with crypto, what you need to do is, just like you get in, you take profits, and then you leave. That's it. Quick. And then you get in again, take profits, and then you leave again. That's how I've seen crypto happen, because they go up and then they correct the move a little bit, and then they go up again, correct the move a little bit, range, come down. So that's how I've seen crypto move over the past months. Why would we not take a sell after this candle closes bearish? You can take a sell. You can take a sell 100%, but I want to take a sell. I want to look for a sell which will give me a lot of confidence that price can go down. Trading is not about if price is moving down, why not be taking a sell? It's about how much confident can we be in a setup. Because if price creates a support here, right? Let's say we create a hypothetical support here, and if we start breaking that support, then I'm going to be looking to take a sell. Because we're breaking support, this means price should go to the next support, and then that sell should work out. But if a support is not formed, I'm not looking for any trade, because I want to trade where I have a higher probability of winning. I don't want to take a trade where price is just falling or moving. No, man. I want to be smart about it. Because if I'm going to get 1 or 2 chances to take a trade, I want to put those chances over like a setup that I'm 80% confident it's going to work out. Otherwise, it's not even worth it. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is Euro USD. Bias taken after bullish candle broke out of the resistance and closed. It's something we talk about in the database about candles with no wicks to the top or the bottom. There's no ranges. So I guess maybe go through that section here and see what candles with no wicks mean. I'm not sure if that's working out or not, but let's take a look over here. Let's take a look at Euro Yeah, that was Euro USD. Where was it? Was it Euro USD? Oh yeah, right over here. Yeah, see, candle closed with no wick. Candle which closes with no wick means there's no range for the next candle to go up. So I think that was a slight error in judgment there. So you'll have to wait again. There's going to be a waiting involved at that point. All right, Mr. Julia and Julian, you're. This is the second time you're sending the wrong chart. If you copy the link from here, I can't open the link. Because for me to open the link, I have to sign into your account for me to open this link. So unless you can give me your password, I can sign into your account and open the link. But other than that, it's not going to work out. What you need to do is click this camera button over here and then copy this link right here and then paste that. Hey Raja, can you please look at this chart? I want your honest opinion. Okay, Jordan Knox. Let's see if he can give our some opinions over here. What am I looking at? Oh, this is the wrong chart. All right, pound yen 15-minute chart entered as price broke the high of the previous candle. Okay, TP said a previous resistance got hit. Managed risk. What opinion? There's no question over here. But nice trade though. Come on, man. There's no question. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is pound yen 15-minute. There's a minor support over here. If this candle closed below minor support, I'm planning to take a sell. What do you think? I think it's good. I'm just personally waiting for support to form on the 30-minute time frame. That's what I'm personally waiting for. Because on the 15-minute, it's just, I don't know. I don't think, I'm just not too comfortable with the 15-minute. It's messy. The candles are just not very friendly, you know, the way they're forming. So I'd want to look for support on the 30-minute time frame. It may mean I might miss out on trade, but you know, for my own comfort level, I'd want to wait for a support on 30-minute time frame because look how clean the candles are, you know, and look how messy on the 15-minute the candles are. So I'll have to wait here a little bit. Start reading the book What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Oh yeah, I talk to myself all the time. What do you think about the new funding program of 5 fintechers? They don't have evaluation and they double your account when you reach 10%. I think at this point I'm starting to think that funding programs are a broke man's dream. That's what I'm starting to think of. I mean, we have people who can't trade, who are not consistent, and they're trying these funding challenges and losing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, one challenge $600, you know, $250, $300, and people are taking four challenges at a time, 3 challenges at a time, just losing those challenging money. I mean, I don't know, man, why? So I think the best thing to do if you're going to start a funding challenge is going to be to see if you can get consistent, right? If you can get consistent, if you can consistently get gains on a smaller account, then it makes sense to go for a funded account, you know, or for a funded company. So we're still waiting here. We don't know whether this kind of is going to close. It's about to close in like 4 minutes. And then we're going to see if we start breaking above the high to continue moving up or not. So let's measure this range. This is a 15, 16 pip range. We'll see what happens here. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a buy. Price made a high over here. Took a buy over here since price broke 30-minute high. Okay. Very nice. Beautiful. Very nice trade. Why would we not take a sell after this candle closes bearish? Because you want a support to be formed. You know, you want a support to be formed and then you want the support to be broken to take a sell. Okay, let's see here. I'm looking for a sell and I wanted you to take a look at my analysis for extra confirmation. Well, Tony Production, if you sent your chart, we would have looked at it. But there's no chart over here, so we can't look at it. You have to ask yourself why there's so much funding companies now. They are making a lot of money from new traders. I think it's more to do with not being responsible enough on how well you trade. I mean, if you're a good trader, funding company, that's perfect, man. That's perfect, amazing. But if you're not consistent and you're going there in like the illusion to make a lot of money, it it's gonna get very difficult and frustrating. Trust me. And if you're doing that in the like the start of the year over here, man, it's gonna get super frustrating. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Oh, we already talked about this chart, AK. You need to go and see what the candles with no wicks on the top mean. If GJ just keeps going down with no support, would take the sell or just wait? I'm just gonna wait. I mean, how many times do I have to say I'm gonna wait for support to form? If a support is not formed, I'm not taking a trade. Here's the thing, I could care less how much price moves. I don't care how far price moves. Like from this, without being support form, price can continue moving down. I don't care about that. What I care about is to take a very, very confident trade. That's what I care about. And for me to take a confident trade, I want price to create a support somewhere over here, and that support is going to be formed. Okay, let me just visually draw it for people who don't understand here a little bit. So let's say this candle closed like this, and then we have a support formed something like this, right? So now we have a support formed at this point. So what I would want to see is I would want to see price to break support, probably have a bearish candle form like this, and then take the sell on the next candle to continue down. That's what I want to see. If this candle continues down over here, I don't care, you know, because I want a support to be formed. If a support is formed, then I can take a very well managed trade and make money on that. That's it. On the other side, if I want price to go up, I basically want a candle to kind of like, you know, form like a bullish candle up over here, and then take the buy on the next candle to continue going up. Or if this candle is going to give me some sort of a impulse entry, then maybe take that entry. But for sells, I'm waiting for a support to form and then break off that support, and then I'm taking a sell. You know, long are the days where you start chasing price because price starts falling. You know, a lot of times what's going to happen is price is going to continue falling and you're going to get lured into it. You're going to take a sell. There are chances that you're going to take a sell at the bottom, and then price is going to start wicking up. So it's really, really important to wait for the things you want to see happen and then take trades based on that. Same thing on your JPY here. We're in this range over here. We got resistance up over there and this like a 21 pip range. So you're waiting to either break the support, or you're waiting to either like break above this resistance to continue moving up. All right. Do you consider 143.30 to be a support? No. A support is going to be there's a support right over here, right? And I want a support to be formed wherever. I want current price action to create a support. Current price action to create a support. Man, when I'm talking about these things, I think when people don't even know the simple concepts of what a support is. You know, if candles are going bearish, and if even one candle closes bullish, that's a support formed. That's it. That's all I'm waiting for. You know, if price continues down, that's okay. It doesn't faze me at all. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 1 hour chart here. Buys above. Buys will be only if price breaks above 144.50. Pretty good. Sells will be made if the 1 hour low will be broken. Okay. You're looking at that situation. It could work out as well. For GJ, do you think the 1 hour looks weird if this closes bearish? Yeah. It kind of like weird. Oh, yeah. It is what it is, you know, like we just have to wait for the setups that we've seen before, you know. So for me to take a solid trade, I'll probably want to wait for support to be formed, and then I'll take a sell. How can I send a trading view picture? I think you need to figure it out. Okay, you figured it out. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 5-minute chart. close another 50% after price move to BE, stop out, total loss. Okay. Yeah, I think instead of looking at the 5-minute chart, maybe start to look at how the 15-minute moved and how you could have gotten a trade based on that. But you managed risk. I think that's very important here. You managed risk. I know you enter right over here for price to continue up to probably over here. Price came down, you managed risk. I think this is where you should have closed. If you look at the 15-minute, 30-minute, maybe you got an opportunity to close the trade earlier on, but it is what it is. It's in an uptrend right now. Price may support and retest the high. No sells at the moment. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too, because we're in an uptrend over here, and maybe this move down is just a little bit of a retracement. You know, so I think if we can create a support, and if we can start rejecting support, we can get this move up, and then hopefully continue on towards 14600. You know, that's going to be the ideal situation to take a trade. Alright, let's take a look at this GU idea here. Buys above 136,700. I think better buys are going to be above this area right over here, because this is where your most recent resistance is. You know, so you would want price to kind of like close above this area and then continue moving bullish. Random question, but how have you got your logo on the chart? It's functionality of my streaming software that allows me to get my logo on the charts. You know, also if you get the super pro version of TradingView, they can let you do that too. Super pro version. Okay, what's this here? Adam Karp. Hi, Raja. Does it not also make sense to take a sell from resistance? For instance, when we broke the low of the bearish doji, caught 12 pips on it. Yeah, that makes sense too. Because, like, you know, from there, if you took a sell over there, you had range all the way down here till 142.70. But realistically, what I've seen is I've had some losses based on those ideas, right? When you have a bearish candle closing and the next one breaks the low, I've had some people I've had some trades which would actually go in the correct direction after breaking the low, and they just wick down and go up. You know, so based on those scenarios, I told myself, hey, like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna wait. If price is trending bullish, right? Whenever price is trending bullish, creates a resistance, comes down, it's always gonna create a support somewhere. And whenever that support is created, then then basically you have to wait for the support to break to take a sell, or, like, you know, maybe look for some sort of a rejection for price to continue moving bullish. So that's where my entire waiting happens. And wow, gold did continue down to the support here. The wicks above the 30-minute resistance, do they not worry you on GJ? No, because, you know, at that point you're anticipating volume to continue price up. You know, so we're just waiting over here. Well, I'm just waiting here to see, you know, if we create some rejection or we create some sort of a support or not. Alright, let's take a look here. This is pound yen 30-minute chart. So you're visualizing price to come down and to continue moving bullish. Yeah, that's something I'm visualizing here as well. So we're going to see if that happens or not. You have your own broker. That's cool. Was it a tedious process? I actually partnered up with someone in the industry, and we're launching our platform. It was a tedious process from the point of view to, like, you know, registrations and finding the right people, because, like, you know, there are a lot of things that go into part. You gotta look for liquidity providers, you gotta look for payment processors, you gotta make sure the connections are up, you gotta make sure your latency is good, there are a lot of things that goes into it. I used to think it's an easy process, but no, man, the amount of money you have to put up, it's not an easy process at all. It's a pretty tedious process. Do you think it would be possible to estimate the percentage of wins in the past month, also for the following month? Yes. Yes. After how long did it take you to be consistent, if you don't mind me asking? You know, it's not about how long it took me, it's about when I realized that I have to wait for price to create a pattern that I've seen work in the past. That's what it is with trading. Whenever you're looking at a chart, you're waiting for a pattern to form that you've seen work in the past. So the patterns I've found worked in the past is if price is coming down, need to wait for it to create a support. You know, and then I'm going to be repeating something I've repeated 10 times since 6:30. So that's what I'm waiting for here. For support to form, and based on that, we'll see what's going on. Something like that's happening on your JPY at this point, right? So we've created a resistance here, and now all we want is price to kind of like break above this area so that we can come into this 15 pip range, 20 pip range, you know, for price to continue up towards 127, 130. Also, we're keeping a close eye on gold here as well. Where will gold go? The thing is, we also have ADP coming in here soon in about an hour and 10 minutes. And this ADP may dictate as well where gold's going to move. So it's going to be very interesting. What's going to be the difference between your broker and trader's domain? Nothing. Nothing really. There's going to be no difference at all. The only reason I looked into it was because I traded with Vantage FX last 2 years, 2.5 years, and last year I paid $40,000 in commissions to Vantage FX. And I started to look at that, and brokers were offering me IBs, and I'm like, wait a minute, I paid 40,000 in commissions to Vantage FX. How come if I can have my own platform, I don't have to pay commissions? I can just pay commissions like to myself. You know, if that turns out to be a business, you know, if we can support people on that, support clients on that, then it can turn out to be a really good business at the same time too. But needed to be a little bit different, you know. So what we did was we incorporated a incentive program. And what basically that is, I mean, all brokers, they work the same way, right? You got the same spreads, industry standard, but the only difference is that when you trade and you pay commissions, you can use the commissions to buy into an educational program, you know, like to market fluidity. You can buy magic keys, you can buy into capital hungry analysis, you can buy into, we're trying to get some other trader education packages with our platform here, so that people can have the freedom to, like, you know, use the commissions to buy an educational platform, you know, or like a program. Because the more people learn how to trade, the more you trade, the more the broker makes money, and the more the broker stays in business. That's how it works. But if people lose, they leave the brokerage, they go to somewhere else, and it becomes like a cycle, you know, of changing brokers. So I've only been with 3 brokers. I've been with IC Markets. They left Canada. Was with Traders Domain. Then Vantage FX came. Went to Vantage FX. They left Canada, and now I'm waiting for my own platform. So it was a step-by-step process.
Hey Raja,
Hey Tiger.
how are you doing, man? You good?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm fine, man. Thanks. I was just gonna ask, how long does it take roughly to get your own brokerage?
See, first you have to register. You have to register corporations internationally, and then you gotta file for Forex licenses is in different jurisdictions. It takes about like a month, almost like a month. Like when you have all your paperwork ready, you have the money ready, it takes about like a month.
A month is nothing. I thought a year or so.
Oh no, like most times, like people don't have the money to put up. Like
How much would it roughly take?
looking at about 75,000 for a license for MetaTrader 5, and it's about running cost about 10 to 15,000 a month, somewhere up to like 20,000 a month. So yeah, it's a pretty solid business.
Nice. And one last question. Do you think, like, if you put big money, like no one is gonna steal it? Like, kind of, you know, if I want to trade with a big account, let's say 7 figures, I'm not confident putting that money into IC Markets, for example, because they can steal it. But when it's your own brokerage, I guess it's fine, isn't it?
No, because when you put the money in, the money goes to the banks, right? You don't have access to that money. The banks have access to that money. So it's safe anyway. I mean, any brokerage is safe wherever you put the money in because it goes to the banks, not to the broker. And like when you place trades and when you win trades, then the broker has to get money from the banks to give it to you, and the banks has to release the money, and they need proof that, okay, if this money is going to person X, where's the proof? Did they really make money? So then we have to like kind of say, okay, yeah, they did make money, and then that money goes to you. So that's how the withdrawals and deposits work.
Because I've heard stories like the broker just blocks the account, you can't access it anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah. So those are shady brokers that they don't pay you out.
Okay, so big brokers wouldn't do that.
Oh no, man! Like big brokers are here to make money. Like I mean, it's a good business to be in if you can run a clean shop. But unfortunately, there are some brokers out there. They put restrictions on withdrawals and they put restrictions on certain things you can or cannot do, and that's basically what ruins the name in the industry for brokerages.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, not a problem. Hey, good morning. I started seeing a pattern that I'm more hesitant to take buy trades. Any tip on increasing my confidence in the pattern? Yeah, I think the only thing you can do at that point is if you're seeing a pattern and you want to take a trade on that pattern, but you're scared or you're hesitant, the best thing to do is to take a small position entry. Because when you take a small position entry and it works out, then you're going to say, okay, like, you know what? I used a small position, it worked out, and for the next time it happens, I'm going to be more confident to enter the same position. And if you do that 4 or 5 times, now this may take you a month, right? If you do this 4 or 5 times, then a point is going to come that you're going to say, okay, like, you know what, maybe entering a small position rather than I might want to enter like my normal position. So you got to build confidence, and confidence is built over time. And that takes months, 2 months, 3 months to build confidence over a certain pattern. And if you see right over here, I know some people are in sells for price to go down, but me, I'm waiting for a pattern to form. And for me, a pattern is going to be a support formed. If a support is formed, I'm going to be looking for buys for price to continue moving up. But if the support is broken, I might look for sells for price to continue down. But if this range, yeah, it's still pretty good, like 17, 16 pip range over here. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a feedback on markup would be awesome. Yeah, we looked at that. We looked at this chart. I don't know why people send charts and then they close the live stream or what happens. But I looked at this, and the only thing I could say was that maybe look at this resistance right over here. If we can break this resistance, then price can continue moving up. This area over here, this is still good, but you're looking at the most recent support, which is made right over here. So this is your range. This is your range right over here. This thing here, this is in the past. Now this is your recent support, your recent resistance right over here, and this is what you're playing in at this point. But at the same time, you're not ignoring this area either way, because if price comes down, it can kind of like reject this area here as well. So you're not completely ignoring that. You're keeping it in the back of your mind to see if it's really going to hold or not. So see what happens. Why you wouldn't wait for the support to form and take a buy? Man, I'm just going to ignore that. Since 6:30, I've been talking about I would wait for a support to form to take a buy. And someone comes along and, oh, why wouldn't you? We're just going to ignore that. All right. First time I heard honest review about brokerages. Thanks, Raja. Hey, welcome. Would you wait for support to be formed, then wait for candlestick to close above support for a buy on gold? On gold. See, on gold, it's a very delicate situation because you have ADP coming in an hour, and that's going to be, I don't know how ADP is going to affect gold here, because if you look at the forecast here, they're forecasting 60,000 numbers, down from 307,000. So it's this a big difference. So we don't know how price is going to affect over here. I mean, from the looks of it, it seems like price should continue moving bullish, right? And if you look at gold over here, I don't think gold has moved bullish enough, because if you look at from pre-London we only moved about like 140 pips over here till 1957. It's also within this range, and I mean, yeah, it's very uncertain where price is going to go with that ADP news. So you'll have to wait a little bit. Do you think it would be possible to estimate the percentage of wins in the past month, also for the following month? Yeah, whose wins? My wins or your wins? I don't know. But it is possible to calculate your own wins. I didn't trade last month. Last month I had 0% wins and 0% losses. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Oh, we already looked at this chart. Ooh, someone sent two euros. Thank you, man. Thank you. 2 euros paid for my coffee for the day. Hey, can you give your thoughts on this chart? All right. You guys don't have to send me money to look at your charts, right? The Gulag, you know that, right? This is not the Asian session. Oh. Over here, we can look at your charts whether you give money or not.
Right. Man, you gotta stop, man. I'm gonna wake up the kid, man. You gotta stop, man. I'm laughing my ass off, dude. Oh, Jesus.
Because I don't know, man. I mean, I'm no. I'm just gonna take a look at that over here. This is actually a well-labeled chart. I actually really like this chart. So what's this? Camille Jeep. With volume, I anticipate price to break this resistance. I will take partial profit when it reaches resistance. Waiting for support to form. Will be perfect around 140. Awesome. This is beautiful. You know, so you're not getting impulse. So you're not getting impulsed into these cells over here at all. Will it work when the support will be higher? Let's say 260 used to trade previous resistance. Yeah, it's still pretty good. I mean, if you can create a support over here, somewhere in the middle, or even down over here, it works the same way. You know, it's pretty good. Very, very nice chart. Problematic area right over here. Beautiful. So, Mr. What's this? Camille JT99, congratulations. You have won yourself a copy of Magic Keys. So you can clap for yourself in silence right there. Clapping for you right there. Beautiful. Amazing.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that chart deserves a Magic Keys.
Very well labeled chart.
Yeah.
So for you to get that copy of Magic Keys, all you got to do is, what do you got to do? Email Magic Keys. Email Magic Keys. Yeah, email Magic Keys with your username on YouTube, and we're going to hook you up with a copy of Magic Keys. We have about 20 to give away. 20 to give away. We have some to give away in the London session, in the Asian session, and in the New York session. So we got 19 left to give away. We don't know what criteria you have to fit in to win it. It's just if it's something. This was really good over here. Beautiful. Now the entire gulag is going to start sending charts. But hey, we can't look at all the charts, right? So just got to be at a very... All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. US 30, looking for to take a buy once the zone broken. What do you think? Hey man, I don't know. Kervin, what do you think about US 30 here? We got clean traffic to the left hand side here as well.
Yeah, but for US 30, it's gonna be a crazy day today, in my opinion. Yeah, you know that finally all this election thing got approved. So finally, Biden got certified as a president. And you know, there's a lot of stuff going on today. I won't go on too deep in politics because I know there's a sensible persons out there, and you know, but yeah, US 30 makes sense to the upside. Just be careful with the pullbacks.
Yeah, it makes sense too. If you kind of like break above this area, you have clean range all the way here to the left hand side to continue moving bullish. I mean, this 30-minute candle is coming down to a close, and Maybe an impulse entry is going to work over here. But you know what? This time, I haven't seen US 30 move a lot at this time of the market. That's something I'd be cautious about.
Yeah, the problem is that area 30,500 is acting as a heavy resistance, intraday resistance. So just be careful with the pullbacks because US 30 basically, yeah, is trading below that gap.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that gap to the left, it's dangerous. I really, I don't recommend anybody trying to get any buys right now on US 30 because you can get a nice push, maybe kissing the 30,600, but then it's gonna reject that price. Like I said, today is gonna be a dangerous day to be trading US 30.
All right. Let's take a look over here. I see that 4 level starting to be rejected. So you took a sell, executed sells as price broke the low with stops above the previous high. Trade win 0.4%, secured stops at break even, secured 12 pips with, oh, nice, beautiful. Very nice. Even though there was a support to the left hand side, I kept that area in the back of my head to see if price started to react. On the 4 hour, see price made a low and now, oh, nice, very nice. Yeah, it played out really well here for you. Let's take a look at this chart over here. All right, 30-minute chart. Waiting for price to create support on 30-minute. I want to see stronger bullish close to take a buy. Yeah, that's something I'm looking for here as well, to see if price is going to create a support over here to continue up or not. Because the bias is bias, the bias is bullish. Because we broke above this very strong consolidation here. This is the area, this was 60 pip range here between 140 100 and 139 500. 60 pip range. And we've broken above this range. Now we want to see if we're going to create a support in this area to continue moving back up or not. If I'm in the UK, I wouldn't be able to open an account with Traders Domain. I think you can via crypto. All you got to do is choose crypto from the country and then there we go. So we're still waiting for confirmations with MetaCodes to see when we can start. Alright, let's take a look at this chart here. Hey Raja, I have an educational chart on wick fills plus successful London analysis. Unfortunately missed the move because it was too volatile. Alright, let's take a look at this. This is by username Vespucci. Let's take a look here. Okay, this is pound yen 15-minute time frame. Wick is how, this is how wicks get filled in momentum over here, okay, and this is how wicks rejections, okay, don't get filled, that have upward momentum. If we keep ranging though, I won't be touching anything. This is where we're printing higher lows, higher highs. If we keep doing that, look for 5 to pips to catch. Oh, nice, beautiful. I wonder how you missed it. I think on 30-minute we had amazing opportunities over here. Price came up, made a high, came down, created support, candle closed bullish. It was just overwhelming confirmations for price to continue moving bullish. And what we can see right now what we can see is we're basically creating some sort of a support over here. Perfect. We're creating some sort of a support over here. So we got 4 minutes left for this candle to close, and we're going to see how this candle closes. If this candle breaks the high over here at 14300, 143.15, I think there's an opportunity for price to continue moving bullish over here. But at the same time, if this 30-minute candle closes bearish and the next 30-minute candle breaks the high over here at 143.15, then also we can continue moving back up in this bullish trend here. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Price rejecting on the 1 hour, close bearish engulfing, okay. Expecting price to make support to retest the high and continuation of trend. Yes. That's what I'm visualizing here as well. So let's see if that happens right here. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is your JPY. What would you think about this resistance? I've seen that your resistance is above this zone. Can you please explain? Yeah, I'm looking at this total area right over here. Price can also come up to this point, don't get me wrong. But we're anticipating volume to continue to push price above. That's it. But this area is still valid. So if you look over here, this area is still valid here, but I'm looking at a higher time frame range here because, like, now you have this range. It's like 20 pip range, and even if price comes up into, like, 10 11 pip profit, then basically you're securing profits at that time. And then when you look left, you're like, okay, well, it makes sense from a technical perspective to secure profits here as well. So it's still the same thing. It's still pretty good. So with the commissions, we can buy magic keys. Yes. So if the trader profits, who pays the profit? The banks pays the profits. Who else pays the profits? I'm not going to pay the profits out of my pocket. That's how brokers work. You place the orders goes in the market, it goes with the banks, and when you win, the banks pay us, and then we pay you.
Imagine if you had to pay.
We're like, you won, man. I'm sorry, man.
I don't have money, man.
I don't know. How about 50%? Are you okay with 50%?
You sure don't want to tad into your book, man.
Oh yeah, that hurt.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt the banks. The banks are gonna say, "Holy shit, this guy is here as well."
Not again.
All right, we're coming up over here now. We are coming up over here at this point.
It's like, I know you want $100,000 withdrawal. We'll just send you magic keys and call it a day.
Yeah. We got about a minute left for this candle to close. This is going to be a really, really interesting close over here, because if this candle closes and if the 30-minute breaks the high at 140, 315, 320, looking at like a 12, 13 pip stop loss for about like almost like the same amount of gain. But really wanted to kind of like close with a bigger wick. So kind of like if it can close a couple of pips below over here, yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Come down here a little bit. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Oh, it took sells, had to edit it? Okay. I think it's the same chart, right? Man, we got a lot of messages in Zoom. I have 183 new messages unread. We can't read all of those. We're just going to go step by step. Ooh, thank you. The Baptist donated £2. It goes for my coffee bill. Okay, perfect. So we got the 30-minute candle close over here. We look at the 30-minute candle. It's closing with the rejection wick. And the reason how it's closing with the rejection wick is if you look on the 15-minute time frame, you can see how the 15-minute candle closed bullish. So this means the 30-minute candle is rejecting this area right over here, just like it rejected with liquidity down over here. So now here's the thing, right? If we think price is going to continue moving bullish in an uptrend, we want this candle to break the high over here. Once we break the high at this point, this is going to be a really good impulse entry idea with stops below this wick over here and anticipating price to continue up towards 144.50. So that's what we're going to wait for once it breaks the high. But if this candle breaks down first, kind of like comes down and then starts to break the high, then there's no need to have the stop loss below the low of the previous candle. Then you can have the stop loss below the low of this current candle. Oh, there we go. We're breaking up over here now. Just need to break the high over here at this point. And in this scenario, the stop is going to be below the low of this previous candle. If we start breaking above, 140, 320.
Yeah, that trade will work.
So look, waited almost an hour for price to print something I recognize and which I can talk about with confidence. When price is really moving, it's really easy to get sidetracked, and it's really easy to get like a FOMO entry, like, oh, price is moving, oh, I want to sell, oh, I want to buy. It's really easy to do that. But what's not easy to just wait. You know, you just got to wait, and price will always print something you're like, oh, look at that. We've broken the high over here. So this is a really good opportunity for price to continue moving bullish, and you have your stops below this previous candle at this point. And I think you have a little bit of a probability for price to continue up towards 144.50. So now if you have your stops below this previous candle, you're looking at the 15-minute candles to kind of like manage the trade, right? So if you look at the 15-minute time frame, what now you're anticipating is that so even though your stops are below this wick right over here, you're looking at this 15-minute, right? You don't want this 15-minute to break its own low. If it breaks its own low, you're closing 50% right there because you're managing risk. Because if it breaks its own low, then there's a probability it can come down to this low over here. So you're managing risk, closing 50% right here, and then you're letting the rest run. So essentially what you've done at that point is you've basically minimized your risk in that trade, and which is really important. Winning is also important, and losing with the minimum risk is equally as important. You know, so kind of like some information there if you're looking for ways on how to manage risk. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is GJ 5-minute chart. Resistance made. Oh, you took a sell over here because 5-minute had no wick here, managed risk. Okay, how did this turn up? Was it at break even? I think that trade you closed at break even, I think. All right, beautiful. Look at that. So, yeah.
Going to paper trade this setup on GJ, and thing is, I will reduce my risk. My stop loss is gonna be, let's say, below the previous 5-minute candle. It's dangerous because it can retrace all the way down, but as long this candle closes above this the current 5-minute candle, it's gonna be a nice setup. So I will say if I'm gonna paper trade this trade, because we have seen this happen a lot of times, I'm gonna increase my risk to 2%.
Oh, nice. Someone in the chat said, what's the username here? The username is Boxing Fanatic. This is a terrible trade. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, but no, but like the thing is, see, now it's broken the low over here. So this is where you're closing 50%. You're closing 50% and you're letting the rest run. Because the idea is to manage risk at the same time too when you're taking trades. You close 50%, you remove some risk off the table and you're letting the rest run. And if it hits stop loss, then you basically, like, you know, you've had like a losing trade, but at the same time you've reduced your risk a lot. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is break of the low over here. Price came down, secured 10 pips, cowboy style. Very nice. Oh wow, it's coming straight down over here.
Yeah. See how it's closing below that 5-minute.
Yeah, it's closing below that area.
Yeah.
Damn, so if it breaks the low here, then we're continuing down.
Also,
Yeah, that wasn't a good one too either. Good thing I'm paper trading this week.
And the thing too is it broke the previous high before creating that bottom wick. So it was kind of iffy, you know.
Yeah, that was something I was concerned about. That's why I had the partial stops below this 15-minute low here.
Especially on the 15-minute.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Oh, we already looked at this chart. I think your chat is lagged and repeating. Yeah, I think so too. Okay. Was the 15-minute bullish close on GJ the confidence to enter? Is waiting for 30-minute close in this scenario not necessary? Yeah, see, the thing was, the 30-minute candle closed with the rejection previously where we had rejection in the London session, right? And that rejection was confirmed by this 15-minute candle closing bullish for price to continue moving up, which is where, you know, like I would have executed a buy at this point for price to continue moving bullish. But at the same time, risk was also managed, that how would we manage risk, or how would we close the position in a lesser drawdown. But now, since we've broken the low over here, now basically the buying analysis is out the window. And at this point now, we're probably going to just continue down over here at this point. So what's the nickname here? Boxing Fanatic. He said it's a terrible trade. You're right. This was a terrible trade. That's correct.
No, it was a beautiful learning opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. I think managing risk was really important here. Because here's the thing, right? If we know that we will manage risk, if price breaks a certain level, we're going to close 50%. Once that's broken, a part of you says, oh, no. Leave the whole thing open. Just leave the whole thing open. It's going to go back up. But if you don't manage risk at that point, then you're basically playing with your risk management at that point. You know, so you just gotta execute it. You just gotta say, okay, you know what? It broke the level I didn't want it to break. Boom! I'm gonna close half. I'm gonna close 50%, 60%, and let the rest run. So you know, it's all good. We had a winning day on Monday. Tuesday was a ranging day. Had a little bit of a tiny move Tuesday, but Wednesday called out a trade, losing trade. That's okay. US 30 is not breaking that high over there. It's still ranging at this point. Wow, look at all this mess on gold. Let's remove everything here. Alright, so we got the support on gold. We're ready for ADP. We're going to see how ADP moves the market on gold here today. Are we going to continue down towards 1937, or are we going to start ranging here? See, now this candle, it becomes a volatile candle, because not only this candle has broken the high of the previous candle, but it's also broken the low of the previous candle. So now this is a volatile candle here. These are what volatile candles basically are, when they break the highs and they break the lows. But looking at the 5-minute time frame here, it just seems like we broke the support here to continue down to 140, 100. This is a really, really strong area right over here, because price was trending or ranging below this area. Now we're coming back to the same situation here. Your JPY is also slowly moving up here now. 15-minute candle is about to close in 4 minutes. I'm trying to see. There's no impulse entries over here. Probably when it broke the high, about like 9 pips away. But if it does continue moving above, 126, 930, 940, there's a very high probability for price to continue up towards 127, 130. Or even 127, 050 here first, and then all the way up over here. Looking back at it, wouldn't it been a better way to wait for the first half of 30-minute candle close? Yeah, it would have been, but like my confidences were there. Support here, bullish candle on 15-minute, rejection on 30-minute. So I mean, even if I was live trading, I would have taken this trade, and then I would have managed my risk if price came down. But sometimes the probability is not in your favor, and it is what it is. You just got to brush it off, because here I don't think there was anything wrong. It was just like the probability wasn't in the favor, and I guess it needed to do a deeper retest here down to 140, 100.
Hey Raja, good morning.
Hey.
Quick question. I was doing a little zoom out on the GJ, and I see that 140, 330, 140, 340 basically was like a conversion point. You either held a strong support or held a strong resistance. Considering all the stuff that's going on in the economy with the elections and all that stuff going on right now. Would it be safe to assume that this GJ possibly is creating that resistance because it's on its downward trek now? Because like Britain's going under lockdown and stuff like that, so we were looking for it to create a support to keep moving up. Could it be that it's reversed and making a resistance now?
Resistance up over here?
At that 140, 300 to 350? Like in that area, when I zoom out on the 4 hour, I see that it, like, you go back into December, it was a pivotal point.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can take a look at those pivotal points, but at the same time, what I'm basically looking at is I'm just looking at this area which was held for resistance for a very, very long time right over here. And this is the only thing I'm looking at in this scenario at this point. Because if this area can get held again, we can then continue to move up. But if we break down again, then we're coming back into this range. So I'm not looking at all the way to the left-hand side to what happened before. I'm just looking to see how can I manage the trade or manage price action in this specific scenario over here. Because if we remove these zones and if we go to the 4 hour, just like you said, obviously, like, there's a resistance here now, and looking left, there was some resistance here, but then some haphazard movement. So it's not very clear, right? The only clear thing I see is that there's this clean candles came down, and if price was to move up, I would have expected these candles to continue moving up because we had the same candles coming down, like kind of like mirror the same move. So
yeah, that's the issue that I'm having is like I look to the left, but I think I look too far to the left.
You look too far to the left. That's true. You got to focus on what's happening right here in this point right over here.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh my goodness, gold is. Yeah.
What's gold doing? Oh, it's dropping. They drop down to support. Oh, damn, Daniel. It broke the 4 hour support here too at 1936.
Yeah, man, crazy move.
Where's next target? 1929.
Yeah, 1920.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What was this?
Yeah, it's moving hard.
Did they release another magical vaccine? Is that what happened?
No, like I said, it's politics.
Oh, wow. Why did gold do that? Oh, politics.
Because it's rejecting from the weekly.
Yeah.
It's a really strong time.
Oh, where's it going? Holy.
20. There's only one bump waiting for 1920. Damn, Daniel.
Wow. Oh, Mr. Baptist donated £5. 2 traders on GJ. Since watching your streams, I can now say I'm officially a full-time trader. Oh, wow, nice. Can't thank you enough for your daily streams. Beautiful. Officially a full-time trader. Let's take a look at this chart. Excuse me here. Price failing to break out of the range just for 2 days over here. You took a buy here. You got the range. You got on the airplane and price went up. You got another buy over here. No airplane here, but you climbed the ladder here. Beautiful, man. Amazing. Very nice. Finally, price begin to gain momentum. Awesome.
What the hell is happening with gold?
Since Ted is on now, Ted, I have to say, I found I don't know how I found it, but I found your trade challenge, replay challenge that you did. And man, oh man, that was fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Learned a lot, but man, I realized that you only use MT4 to draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Welcome to March and January gold. You remember March last year?
Yep. Yeah, I guess because the Democrats now control the Senate.
Everything.
They control everything, so I guess that's pushing the dollar.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did get that rejection off of 1950, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 1950 is a strong psychological level.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, this big drop and then a 70 pip retracement here.
Yeah.
Euro JPY is now also starting to move up here now. I think we should continue moving up on Euro JPY as well. Hey Raja, can you check how I play my trade? Entry when candle closed bullish, okay. 50% close when candle turned bearish, okay. 50% got hit stop loss. Perfect. Nice. You managed risk. You made sure you lost less. Perfect. There's no structure on gold now. It's just one giant. How big was this? 220. Wow, man.
$20.
Yeah. $20 move down. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Why should be buys if there was a minor resistance and price confirms? Because my bias was bullish, that's why. I mean, you can take sells and buys in the market and one is going to play out. You know, if one fails, then that's it. You know, then you have to see why it failed. You know, so I gave my entire explanation why it was a buy, why I took the trade. So you can go to YouTube and you can maybe listen to it and see what my explanation was.
Pound US dollar, it fell dramatically also.
Yeah, I guess it's also directly affected by the dollar here. Let's take a
The dollar.
Did UJ? Oh yeah, US dollar went up.
Yeah.
Everything related to the dollar moved a lot. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm staying away, man. I'm staying away till 8:30. I mean, this was not expected, this drop in gold. There was no news. This is just straight fall, like nothing. There's nothing on daily FX either.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah. It's gonna be a crazy day in the markets today.
All right. If you don't get in before the drop, just call it a day. Don't trade. It's gambling. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Oh, in EU, Moderna vaccine is allowed now. Oh, how come I can't see that? It's nowhere to be seen.
It's on Forex Live.
Oh, really?
Forexlive.com. Yeah.
How come Daily Effects didn't show that? Oh, EMA recommends Moderna coronavirus vaccine for the authorization in EU. Okay, yeah, we see. Okay, makes sense for gold to drop. Gold to drop and USD to go up. But you know what's interesting? Even though if they're they're allowing vaccines in the EU, did the euro go up? Yeah, I guess we're moving up on euro here as well, I guess. I guess it makes sense then for euro to continue moving bullish now. Euro USD is gonna go up. Oh yes, I think Euro USD is gonna make like a huge move up. I'm still looking at pound yen over here to see if we're gonna start rejecting here to continue back up or not. But I guess now we have this minor resistance here in the way. So it's going to get kind of difficult here.
Here comes another impulsive sell off on gold. As we start breaking 1930, it's gonna be a quick move. $10 going to 1920.
1920, eh?
Yeah.
1920. You know, that's going to be good if that happens at NY Open. Because I remember on the 9th of November when they first released the vaccine data, gold fell like $50 that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with gold. When it start dropping, I mean, it can easily drop $15, $20.
Yep. I'm done for the day. 2 losing trades, but managed risk, 1% risk per trade, but total loss is about 0.98% overall. Nice.
Wow.
Beautiful. See a day when you can close the day in losses, but you've managed risk, which means if you've lost less than what you anticipated, that's an amazing winning day. Because you didn't get emotional about it, you didn't overtrade after that, didn't over risk after that, you just accepted what you had, managed it, and perfect. Yeah, your JPY I think should continue moving to 127.100 as long as it stays above 126.930. So let's do this here. Possible target. What was this? 126.930. Yeah, there we go. 930. Yeah, because we're breaking out of that resistance now, moving into NY Open. Volume is going to be in the market. Volume is in the market right now. They're making vaccines open for the EU. Should prop the euro bullish. So I think that could be a really good move here. But our only problem is going to be around 127.020, 0.30, and after we pass that, we're going to continue moving bullish. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on gold here as well, below 1929. Hey Raja, were you not looking at a potential impulse entry sell on the 15-minute support was broken because overall bias was bullish on GJ? No, I was not. I was looking for buys. I mean, I've been looking for buys since 6:30. It's been an hour and a half. Wasn't looking for sells at all. I mean, now at this point, if you look at this, we're at the support over here, and if we kind of like break the support, our next area is going to be somewhere around, I'd say like these wicks right over here. Price can come down to right over here. How far is that? That's like 15, 20 pips away. Pretty dirty, pretty hard over here. So we'll have to wait out to see how candles close and how candles print. Anyone know what it happens? Manipulation? No, it was news. It was they released. They said okay for the EU to get the vaccines. Everyone's getting the vaccines, man. No one's not getting the vaccines. Ted posted that about like 150 people in the world. They're the only people who will not get the vaccines. those 150 people who run the world. Everyone else, me, you, your mom, dad, grandmothers, grandfathers, we're all getting the vaccines. Uncles and aunties, your buelas, and everyone everyone's getting vaccines. All right, we're breaking the lows here now, Kervin.
Yeah, man. And if you look at the daily, Ted, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, look at the structure on the daily. This is scary though, because we have a candle to the left which is scary as hell. This red huge candle. Imagine if we have it drop on gold.
Yeah, so I think now if you look at the weekly level, if people are starting to watch, if we do reject, we talked about this yesterday, there's this highway here and this highway here. That's the the next stages to go through, right? And everyone who loves magical trend lines, here's your magical trend line, right? So you could say, okay, if that's going to be our trend, we're sticking under, and you can see this candle over here was the only one that really broke above those trends. So you might find as we start to drop, we start to dip through that level there. So I like the way the daily rejected, to be honest. I think if you're trading gold, I would wait to see the ADP information come out, and then look to see, okay, if we do have that, we could potentially drop right back down to 1900s. It is potential. I mean, your first stop is probably going to be around, I would say 1920. That'll be your first hit, because we're dipping into an area right now back from October 2020, October 21st, 2020. There's rejections in that area, so we are dipping into that. We do have support at 1930. So I'd be careful around this area. But once we have the rest of the USA market open, if we do continue with this movement, you may find that we dump all the way down to the 1920s level. The thing that's difficult with this, to be honest, is you are going to have to really be careful on how you execute these trades, because you could see how fast it ripped down. It can also rip up that fast to gain liquidity to rip back down again. So the thing with gold is you may find there could be a 100 or 200 pip retracement, and then it continues down again, and then you sit there and you got hammered when it popped all the way up, because a 5-minute candle can move 20, 30, 40 pips, and that's heavy on what you're trying to do in terms of stop loss placement, things of that nature. To be honest, I think if you are looking at taking trades, you have to look below 1929. You are looking below that level. You would have to place a sell stop perhaps at that point, and you would be managing the trade live, and really your stop loss would be very difficult until you saw market structure below, until you saw when price came to 1929, what structure the market looked like. Like right now, you can see on the 5-minute charts, a stop loss would be around 1936, which is huge. But if you're looking at 1920, it does make sense from a risk to reward standpoint. But the 5-minute candles are all consolidating between, I'd say, 1929 and 1936. That's a huge range that it has to fight through. So your 15-minute candle looks like it may consolidate between 1936 and 1929. Okay, so Raj just got it pulled up. You have issues here, because the problem becomes this area here could be consolidation, right? And it's such a wide range. You have to really be careful what you're doing at that point when you're trading gold. And if you're putting a stop below this area over here, you're hoping that the next candle dips and then it just drives right through. And at that point, to be honest, you wouldn't be looking to have a stop loss, because you're saying, okay, the momentum with gold is going to drive. So I activate my stop loss here, or my sell stop, and as soon as it goes into profits, I would then probably be managing my trade, probably placing a stop here. There wouldn't be an exact position, because we won't have the structure like this or like this to say, okay, stop loss is above these candles here. You won't have that with gold, because here is a perfect example. Where would you place stop loss? You would have done this. You would have had a sell stop over here, and it would have just kept driving. There's no stop loss placement here, because with your sell stop, you're looking for price just to drive through. And then at that point, you'd say, okay, because price drove through here, I can put my stop loss here now, and I can see what happens. And I'm happy with this profit here, or I'm happy with, this little profit here. It's very, very difficult to trade gold when it does do this and it impulse moves like this hard. That's why. Excuse me, that's why if you are doing this and you place a sell stop here, you have to be ready on the trigger to be like, okay, on the 5-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame, it rejects this area, and if it starts to drive back up, you have to close right away. You can't sit and wait and be like, oh, well, maybe it's just going to do this. right? You can't do that with this kind of trading. You'd have to say, okay, if we're driving down to 1920. I have to be on the trigger to close, like at any given point in this area here, because I'm looking to have that trade impulsively move down. This is very, very difficult. So if you don't normally do this, I would stay away from it, and I would wait for gold to sort of settle down and just have normal market movement at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, with momentum, you know, this our weak fill should be filled. And but problem is a stop loss, like Ted said.
If you look at all the other times it's been vaccine news, it's actually retraced that move. So it might be better for wait for it to calm down, like Ted said, retrace up to 1943 area, than to get the move down from there.
Yeah, yeah, but today I think the fundamentals are different than any other day because of politics. Other than that, yeah, you should have a pullback on gold today, but due to the conditions in the market, I don't think we're gonna have that pullback today. If you manage this trade, let's say if you wanna be safe, you will need at least 35 pips stop loss.
Yeah.
About 1936, 1937, which is crazy. It's so much.
Yeah, it's very hard to trade that. I mean, if you're gonna do it, I think what you're looking to hit is the ADP information will probably be a move, and then also 930 will also be the move. So 9:30 Eastern, I think if you're looking for gold, 9:30, 10 o'clock Eastern, mark that on your charts or on your phone or whatever you have to do, and come back and look at gold at that point. Because if we're going to get the move, your next volume move is going to be at your heavy volume move is going to be the 9:30, 10 a.m. Candles at that point, because that's where you have the heaviest part of the market.
Yeah, 9:30.
If you can get in themselves, it would be worth holding for the. I know it's a big ask, but for the weekly to flip and have a lower wick and possibly even that gap fill.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where your scalps are going to turn into swings.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to swing trade this, I mean, you can go from 1929 to 1956, have like a 300 pip stop. And then if you're doing that, you basically, as soon as the weekly candle flips into 1900s, you're driving all the way back down to 1868 as a long-term swing trade. So if you wanted to do that, you would have basically a 300 pip risk, and then you would have essentially a 600 pip gain all the way to 1868. So if you wanted to do that, I don't trust that. To be honest, because from a swing trade perspective with gold, it's very, very difficult because of the instability in the economies, the vaccine, all this other stuff. But if that's what you were seriously looking for, and you were bound and determined to say gold was going to drop because the US dollar is going to strengthen, 1868 would be your target. To be honest, I don't see the US dollar strengthening anytime soon. It doesn't make sense from a fundamental standpoint because the U.S. economy is in turmoil. Their politics is in turmoil. The world is in turmoil. Everybody's shifting to safe havens. And, things are changing in terms of, people are talking about digital currency, one world currency, all that other stuff. So I don't see that as a valid play. But I mean, hey, there's people that are contrarians and they wish to go with that because they see it from a technical standpoint. Be my guest. Put your magic to the test, I guess. That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, my girlfriend was telling me this morning that apparently the Democrats, as soon as they take the everything, that they go back in power, they're gonna approve a $2,000 bonus for the people, cash. So which is crazy. It's decreasing dollar value. I don't know how more they can print.
Yeah, don't worry. Here we send $1,000 for people going into vacation.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Crazy.
It's a crazy time we live in. Right now, it looks like we're gonna get that support being formed now, and we're gonna be able to ride that 8:30 NY open candle on GJ.
Do you guys think that oil prices could go to zero or negative again?
I think it'll be hard, to be honest, because all the institutions got in at zero. So I don't think they'll allow it to go back down there. I don't think anybody was anticipating that drop past zero, and since it did, I think we're never going to see that again. To be honest, I mean, like I said, don't quote me like you quote the Bible, but it like if you think of it from an opponent standpoint, like I always think about what my opponent's doing, right? So if my opponent has already basically taken the majority from that, I don't see it coming back again at that point. That's the thing. It's the same thing, sort of like when you look at like when people talk about Bitcoin, right? And they're like, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon." I'd be very skeptical of that. And I mean, now I'm going to have a whole bunch of comments in the gulag telling me that I'm wrong and everything else. But think about it this way: who controls the media? All the big financial companies control the media, right? So we know that all the big players are looking to get your money. So how are they going to get your money? What they're going to do is they're going to keep announcing these reports of Bitcoin to 200,000, Bitcoin to 150,000, this currency to this rate to this, because what it does is who's reading those news clips? It's all the retail market, people that are stupid, things of that nature. And what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, because JP Morgan said that that Bitcoin's going to go to 200,000. That's a safe investment because JP Morgan's the biggest investment bank in the world, as an example, right? And what JP Morgan's sitting there doing, going, perfect, we released this news article into the world, everyone's buying it, get ready to sell our holdings at the top of that. And what ends up happening is they end up selling their holdings at 50,000 or 60,000, scaling out, and then the whole thing collapses, and the person that gets stuck holding the bag is the retail investor, right? Like, just think about it logically, okay? No big bank is going to announce what they're intending on doing to the world because there's other big banks and institutions reading the same information, right? You're playing in a very, very small demographic at that point, right? You have billion-dollar companies all playing for the same money. They can't turn around like we do every morning and say, hey guys, today I'm going to buy $6 billion worth of the US dollar. They can't do that because they will technically move the market. So do you really think when they start talking about certain things that they're telling the truth? They're trying to throw everybody off their game, and they're doing something behind the scenes that's probably the total opposite. And, you have to look at it that way. So, like, if you're trading BTC, like I've had BTC since 6,700, I've been scaling out of positions at certain levels. I scaled out at 12,000, I scaled out at 16,000, I scaled out at 22,000, and I just scaled out at 34,000. Like I'm taking profits as I go, because at any given point, if this thing rips down or it dumps or whatever happens, you don't want to be sit holding the bag. This is part of smart investing, is slowly taking money out when you make it and then looking for another opportunity to put it in somewhere else at that point. And so it's just one of those things.
Internet is not strong.
To say, okay, if we're
Oh, hey Ted, I accidentally muted you.
That's okay. I'll stop talking anyways. No, I was just saying that, we just have to watch, just think logically, where do institutions need money to come from? And how do they push to get that money, right? So they release news articles, they create media hype, they do all these different things to collect liquidity, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there are people that fall for those traps, and they know it, and it's been happening for tens of 10, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years since the invention of big media and the internet and globalization. I mean, the last 20 years, you could put something on the internet and it goes around like wildfire. Like, you see people selling now courses on how to invest in Bitcoin. You have people talking about Bitcoin, put money in Bitcoin, do this with Bitcoin. And it's like, that feeds into the hype, right? It's not necessarily smart investing, it's hype investing.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just be careful. Like I said, at the end of the day, always manage risk. That's the biggest thing that you can do in trading, in investing, in managing your wealth, is just manage risk. You could take 100 small trades and make $1,000, or you could try and take 10 big trades and make $1,000. To be honest, I'd rather take 100 small trades, because you know what? My margin of error allows me to take more trades. It allows me to, potentially let smaller trades run into bigger trades, instead of looking for that big whale trade where, like I go from $1,000 to $10,000 and, I had that big massive trade for the day. It's like, you can slowly just grind your way out, take your time, and you know what? You'll be comfortable, because every day you'll come in, make 10, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and you don't have any stress. Go about your day. Next day, come back in, maybe you lose $5. Next day you come back, maybe you make 10, and you just keep slowly scaling up. It'll take you a few years, but you know what? At the end of the day, you won't have been stressed out. You won't have tried to hit home runs. You're just hitting singles, right? You're just hitting singles, and making sure that every day you're consistent in what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess the biggest problem people face is just like let's say someone took a trade in the morning about like an hour ago, and they took a loss, and now they know that they have to wait. The problem happens that from that moment till the next, that waiting period is where people just really just fuck up. Because they took a trade, it didn't work, and about they found out the trade is going to be losing trade in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and now they know, okay, well, I tried to hit a single, but it didn't work, and now I have to wait 23, 22 hours for the next time I can take a trade. That's where people just lose it, because that waiting period is it just kind of like messes up with them.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest problem too, right? Because everybody wants to get rich in a hurry. I mean, people are laughing at me about Bitcoin, and it's like, I'm just giving you the conservative approach and the mythology behind what's going on. You have to understand one thing. Bitcoin's rise to the top will not be an easy rise to the top. I think the millennial generation does not have enough education on who actually runs the world. There's this utopian view that I'm going to hold my half a Bitcoin or my 1 Bitcoin, and it's going to fly to the moon, and now I'm going to be a millionaire. And you know what? I will have beat the system. You and hundreds of thousands of other people are thinking the exact same thing. You are not alone. You haven't discovered fire in caveman days. There are millions of people with the same sentiments. Think about it this way. The world right now is controlled by the top banks, top politicians, people behind the scenes, the whoever you want to talk about. They are not going to allow you to come into power or to be wealthy because you found this utopian cryptocurrency on the internet and you're 23 years old and you think you're going to beat the system. They will allow 1% of those people to become millionaires because that controls the ebb and flow of money. But they're not going to allow 15 or 20 or 30% of people to become millionaires because they held this magical coin that was taken off the internet. It's not going to happen. They are going to destroy it first to ensure that the distribution of wealth is maintained So, the 1%, maintain the 1%. And yeah, you'll get your little bits. You'll get maybe, the crumbs out of that, but you're not going to become a billionaire holding crypto. It's just not going to happen. And I know that that hurts a lot of people, and a lot of people are sitting at home now listening to this, drinking coffee or having their orange juice crying. But you have to think of it logically. Money is the most important thing in the world. There are people that are greedy beyond greedy and that are destroying the world just so that they can have more money. And what are they going to spend it on? I have no clue. But you're not going to be part of that billionaire club holding a cryptocurrency. You're going to make money, but remember, you're going to have to do other things to generate wealth as well. So diversify.
The ADP news came out negative. Expecting it to be around 60. This thing came out negative. I wonder what that means about NFP for Friday. It's going to be a disaster. If that came out negative, that could mean maybe this drop is liquidity. And whoever was talking about this Pfizer news coming down and the vaccines obviously correcting himself, maybe this was liquidity to price in a bad NFP.
Imagine.
Probably. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is your JPY waiting for a breakout to 15-minute candle high in order to take the trade. You took the trade, letting the next run to 40%. Our target to BE. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Your JPY is on target over here. The only thing is now it has to respect the previous candle low and then continue up towards 127, 130, 150. But it's also rejecting the same area which was identified earlier on by, I forget the name, but this is where caution was made right here around 127 because we had rejections here. But the anticipation is it should continue moving bullish. It has to respect this low though first.
Yeah, if gold flies back up, that's disgusting. Like, you figure that 9 o'clock candle will drive all the way back up again. So I think Raj was right. It was like the perfect coup where it's like, oh, vaccine news, we can dump the market, and then we know ADP is going to be bad.
Let's take a look at this chart over here. Sell entry as the break of the low on GJ 30-minute. Nice. Close full positions at 10 pips. Very nice.
Dow Jones is gonna fall more. Dow Jones is respecting that 30,500.
Let's take a look at this chart over here. GJ 15-minute. Secured 50%. When price came, reached rejections, moved stocks to break even, got stopped out at break even. Awesome. Yeah, I think with this candle, 30-minute candle closing bullish at the same level which we retested in London session. If we retested this level in London session and moved up, I think retesting this in the New York session would also maybe give an opportunity for price to continue moving up. Got about 10 minutes left for this candle to close. Wow, private sector employment decreased by 123 jobs in December. You know what this means? This means that these many people are out of work now. This is what ADP says. And we don't know what the actual numbers are. Insane, man. People are losing jobs. You lose jobs. Here you go, $600. Hope this is enough for the next few months. And people are like, no, bro, it's not enough. Trump's out there saying give them $2,000. And man, this is going to be crazy. This 2021. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they're like, oh no, you know what? The government has policies in place and 2021 is going to be way better than 2020. I'm like, no. You just watch. You just watch what the government has built here for you guys.
Why do people think that the government is some like genius? The
The-
government isn't. I don't know. I guess because they're voted in or something.
See, his whole thing was that, oh no, the government is there because it got put there by us. So they're looking out for our best interest. And once he said that, I was like, all right, you know what? In my mind, I said this conversation is over. I don't think the government has our best interest in their mind. Not at all. Far away from that idea.
It's like that meme of when they have Peter Griffin and they have the different colors, and it's like if you're the lighter color, you're not the terrorist. If you're the darker color, you are the terrorist.
You wanna see a crazy thing, Raja?
Hmm.
Gold. This 30-minute candle is basically just doing a retest to the previous one, and it's gonna continue to retest those lows.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I don't trust this pullback on gold. I think we still have more downside. Crazy.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, great, David. How are you?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah, David, we had some negative ADP news here today. Looks like 123,000 more people lost their jobs here today. What do you think about that?
Well, I didn't think 2021 was going to be any better. Yeah, that's for sure. I think it's going to go crazy, and then they want to give us $600 and say, "Here you go."
Well, it's enough, right? I mean, it should be more than enough.
Get another TV from China.
Well, people shouldn't depend on government. That's the problem. People think that government's there to save their butt, and it's not.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
You got to go out there and make your life happen for you.
Sleepy Joe and Joe Exotic will save us. the Tiger King. Someone mentioned in the Gulag. I almost forgot about Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Still got 5 minutes left for this candle to close. 30-minute candle to close. You know what I'm looking at? This 30-minute candle closing with this support over here. This is where I would give my bias a second chance to continue moving bullish.
Yeah, had a pretty good rejection to like almost 140. Same support as London.
Yeah.
Should make sense.
Just watch.
How do you
Don't hate. You don't know me.
How do you remove this? All right. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. We got about 4 minutes left here for the candle to close.
Raja, quick question. Would you have not taken the opportunity in EJ?
No,
Or
I
did you
don't.
Just
No, I don't trade your JPY.
okay.
Yeah, but there was an opportunity here. This opportunity is still open for it to continue up towards 127, 100.
So even though you think it's gonna hit that, you're not gonna take the trade?
No.
Okay.
Trading is not about executing on every good setup. Trading is about executing on just one or two simple ideas, and that's it. Because if we look at it this way, you can make money in the markets in the New York session, London session, Asian session, and all the news you can make money. But are you really going to sit and look at the charts all day long just to take the best trade, just the next best trade? Obviously not, because we all have other things to do. But I mean, discipline and consistency comes from when you're just focused on just one pair for one session, just focus on 1 to 2 trades, and that's about it. Because imagine if you took a sell on GJ, right, this morning, and you won the trade. And if you take an opportunity on your JPY now because you see it happening now, and what if that's a loss, right? What if? Maybe it's not going to be, but what if that's a loss? Now you've lost your profits.
Yeah.
Right. So like it's just like life, bro. In life, we get a lot of opportunities to do business, to do partnerships and this and that, but not all opportunities are worth taking. I mean, I've been on live stream for about 4 years now, 3 years now, and like every morning we get a lot of charts and a lot of good opportunities. But am I going to take all those opportunities? Probably not. Because I know my strength. My strength is in taking trades on pound yen. That's my strength. And I want to play on my strengths.
Thanks, man. Nice one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no problem. It's all about like being disciplined enough to know that, okay, if you're only going to trade your JPY, then you're only going to focus on your JPY. If you only focus on gold, you're going to focus on gold. Same goes for pound yen, pound dollar. What's your weakness? My weakness? I don't know. I don't know what my weakness is. I think I've come to the point where I know how to manage risk. If you can manage risk, you're not going to lose a lot at all. You're not going to lose a lot at all if you can manage risk. So it all comes down to how well can you manage risk. So someone said the weakness is identifying the weakness. Yeah. Like I remember in the past, what I would do is whenever I'd see price move a lot, I would just say, oh wow, it's moving a lot, let's take a trade over there. And most times it just wouldn't work that way. Man, I'm trying to remove the zone over here, this zone. I just don't know how to remove it. Hey, good morning. Could you take a look at this trade, please? Left a runner with a small position. Let's take a look here. We got about a minute left for this candle to close, and we're going to see what happens here. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at this chart. Oh, wrong chart coming from the gulag. Well done. Do you have a risk management webinar yet? I have one. You know what I'm planning to do? By the end of February, I'm planning to have this huge virtual risk management webinar. The details I don't know yet, but we're probably gonna release those details in the coming days. Because I think this year, 2021, should be dedicated on how to manage risk. We all know how to take winning trades. We all know how to like execute on winning trades. But what we don't know, what majority don't know, is how to manage risk. So I think that's going to be very, very important, because managing risk comes first. If you can't manage risk, then obviously you're going to have winning trades. But I mean, if you know how to manage risk, at that point you can really, really lower down your risk percentages. You can really get out of that, break-even stage if you're in a break-even stage. All right, so the candle is closed bullish over here. Will we respect this and continue moving back up or not? That's the question here. Every morning I see Christopher's webcam, and every morning I see the sunrise. Because the guy joins at 6:30, it's dark. And as time goes by, it becomes lighter and lighter, and now it's daytime in Miami there. It's awesome, man. Every morning I see the sunrise in Miami. Alright, let's take a look at this Chinese indicator. So Chinese indicator is saying pound is weak, euro is strong, which means euro pound should be moving bullish. We're going to take a look at that. And yen is also weak. So if pound is weak, yen is weak, this means that this should be ranging over here. What's this? Someone in Zoom is Ted from the future. Ted from the future, I'm going to kick you out from the Zoom just because of that name. And then you're not going to be able to join again. So before I do that, just change the name back to where it was. Because then you won't be able to join back.
I
mean, come on, man. Are we not all adults over here? I thought we were all adults over here. Adults.
Where do you want to see gold closing for the 4-hour candle, Raja?
Man, the way it looks like is just doing a retest of 1941 to continue down to 1929.
Yeah, I like because it's respecting Don Julio, 1942s. It's respecting 1942, so that's your new resistance right now.
Now you're talking my
I still
language.
think that this 4-hour candle will close around 1930s. We should retest that low.
Yeah.
Next 4 hour gonna do the job, hopefully.
Now you're talking my language, Don Julio.
Trust. Yeah, man.
GPJPY is making head and shoulders on 15-minute. Yeah, I can kind of like visualize that. You got a shoulder over here, and you got a head over here, and you got a shoulder over here. So I guess you're looking for the shoulder to dislocate over here, and then to go down. Or maybe have a shoulder aneurysm and then continue to go up. It's amazing how people can spot head and shoulders, but they can't spot a losing trade to manage risk. That's what you should be getting good at. Anyone seen that fake Raja called Wicks Don't Lie? Oh yeah. Finally I have fake profiles, guys. I'm famous now. There are like 10 different fake profiles of me. I'm blessed. It's blessed. Man, oh man, 2 hours. Some people took sells in GJ. I tried buys, didn't really work. The London session people had the best trade this morning. They had the best trade. A really, really easy breakout, came down, retest, continuation towards 144.50. I mean, that was the only easiest trade I can see over here. The London session. Every time.
Wow, it looks like there's even less volume today than there even was yesterday. Nothing's moving.
Yeah, it's gone pretty quiet now. Probably waiting for the new 4-hour candle to start at 9 or New York Stock Exchange to open at 9:30, excuse me. Hey, maybe impulse sells on GJ. I don't know what impulse sells you're looking at, buys or sells. You haven't mentioned it, but I will assume is that probably you're looking at sells. That's what I would assume, because that's the only thing I can see here for impulse entries. Other than that, we have support formed. 30-minute candle has closed bullish. Let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, 15-minute candle is ranging at this point. Markets are waiting for Georgia Senate outcome. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count on that. I'm pretty sure Georgia isn't that important to move the market a lot. I mean, there's only 11,000 votes there, right? Alright, what's this? Hey Raja, if a great setup appears, but previous 2 candles are long, meaning the volume has already kicked in, would you still go with the setup? Probably okay. So let's take this for example here, right? So we had a lot of volume here. Price came down. See big candles, lots of volume. Then big candle, lots of volume. And now we're in this scenario right over here where we're creating a support, indicating that there's a possibility for price to continue moving up. But what we got to see is now we got to look for another confirmation here in the smaller time frame. Let's go towards the 15-minute. And yeah, I guess if this candle can kind of like close bullish or kind of like break above 140, 240, 250, then the volume in NY, you can anticipate that to continue price beyond 140,300, because this is where price had some issues before breaking up 140,300. So, you know, that would need to be broken with volume for price to continue. Georgia Senate is very important. If both seats turn blue, the Democrats will now control the House and Senate. I think that other guy was. It's official. He's becoming the president. That's what I heard and read. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Looks like Euro JPY is also now on the move over here to continue on towards 127, 130. You know, some people are wondering, I have this zone over here. I'm trying to remove this zone, but I can't. And I do think we should continue moving down to retest this low at 1929. What's the stop going to be on this, like 35 pips? Wow, 35 pips. For it to continue down.
I think you got the lock on, no?
The lock? No.
Yeah, no? Oh, okay.
You drew a really small box, so you got to zoom out a little bit.
No.
For like a bigger time frame.
No, what I did was I did this. It's extended to the right and it's extended to the left. So it's extended both ways, so I can't see. And anyway, it's not important anymore. But this should, that's what I'm looking at for it to continue down here. Alright, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is 15-minute. If we break the high on the 15-minute, candle close above 15-minute. Oh, to close above here or to close above here? I think the close above here would make much more sense, because we still got 20 minutes left for this 30-minute candle, and I think we should continue moving bullish here. So your stops are below the 30-minute candle. You're giving your trade a second chance for it to continue up towards, you know, 140,300, and with volume in NY, you're looking at to retest 140,450. But we really need to close above, you know, or break above 140,250 here first as well. Okay, so let's do this. Right click, go towards object tree. Oh, nothing opens. We can just remove all drawings and like this. So these are the money setups here for me personally. Price breaks the support, comes down, comes up, creates like a resistance, and this creates a confirmation candle for the other candles to continue down to retest the low. So there's an 80% chance price is going to continue down to retest this low. It's like a 68 pip range over here.
Look.
Yep. This should be a pretty good range for price to continue down. Hey, Mr. Raja, do you think GJ, if first half of the 30-minute candle don't break the previous high, that there is high possibility that possible second half can break the low? Probably not, you know, because I mean, we've created support, and this support was held at London Open, so it's a very, very strong area over here. And also, we're now rejecting this in the New York session, so now there's a high probability for price to continue moving bullish rather than to continue back down in this range. And the only reason it's going to come back down in this range is going to be obviously if we start breaking the lows right here at 140, let's say 140, 100. But for the most part now, we have candle closing in our direction on a 30-minute time frame. This 30-minute candle is also bullish over here, for it giving us a lot of probability for price to continue moving bullish. I'm new here, so not sure if the cams are just an overlay we see, or if they are there for you as well. If they are for you, you won't be able to see the object tree as... Oh, okay. So the object tree happens over here. Oh, I see. That's why I couldn't see the object tree, because all you guys were hiding it. What happens when you close half position? If you're, let's say, in a $50 drawdown, you cut half, you've closed $25, yes. And then you just give the rest of the position the chance to do its thing. Yes, exactly. That's the whole idea of closing 50%. Because let's say if you're in a drawdown for about $50 and you're thinking that, okay, you know what, I'm in a $50 drawdown. I do think price is going to continue on to my target. But at the same time, I want to be cautious because, like, you know, I want to be cautious about the whole thing. So then that's the point where you're closing 50%. So when you close 50%, that means you're taking $25 out. And then you're leaving the rest $25 in to see if it still works. And if it works, that's going to increase your confidence in the trade and in that setup. Did you guys take any trades today? I'm just arrived. Yeah, I called out a buy on GJ, which didn't really work. Came down and stopped us out, and that was the only trade at that point. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Closed 50% at 140, 130. Price didn't break the 15-minute low, so I didn't need to. When would be a good time to add 50% risk back? I think a really good opportunity to add the rest of the 50% back. See, now it's going to be a little tricky, right? Because I would say if we didn't have this area over here, I would say adding 50% back after we break this high would be perfect. You know, but since we have this area over here, then there's no need to add it back, because, you know, what if you add the risk back and price comes up here and rejects it? You know, so again, I think this is going to be a situation where you're going to leave it as it is, because if price continues to go up, you're expecting it to break this minor resistance with volume and then continue to move up. But if we start closing bearish over here, like kind of like a doji or a bearish candle, then effectively price is just ranging. And then, I mean, there's also, we got the 4-hour candle to close in like 15 minutes too, right? So then it's going to be better to wait to see how it closes. So your JPY came up to that same rejection area, 127.050, 040, consolidated here a little bit, and now it's creating that pattern for the next 15-minute candle to continue moving bullish. We shall go. Gold as well. These are like really good opportunities for gold to continue down in this range. It's like a 58 pip range, $5 move. On one lot, this is like $500. 10-cent lots, this is about $50. 5-cent lot, this is like a $25 move down here. But then you're also managing risk. It's like a 39 to 40 pip stop loss for like a 50 pip reward over here. Do you think you trade better streaming or not streaming? You know, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if I stream, I'll still trade. If I don't stream, I'll still trade the way I trade. It's just became a part of my habit now. You know, it's just part of how my trading personality is now. Just really, really, really waiting. If I missed a trade, I don't cry about it. You know, I'm just say, okay, you know what? I missed it. Probably I'm going to get it the next time it happens. When you close 50% on a drawdown, when would you feel comfortable adding that 50% again? It depends on market structure. So you need to understand market structure to know when to add the rest of the 50%. And we can take a look at your JPY over here. It's going up to the target as we identified. First to 127, 100, and then continue to, you know, 127, 130, 140. How did you bounce back after your biggest losing day you mentioned in the past? It's not about bouncing back. Here's the thing. When people talk about bouncing back means you took a loss. How did you make that loss back? It's not about how to make that loss back. It's all about how are you going to brush that loss off, and how are you going to look at that loss and see what mistakes you made in that loss. Did you remove the stop loss? Did you extend the stop loss? Did you add risk in drawdown? You know, what did you do to really amplify those losses? And once you figure out that, okay, what you did to amplify those losses, it's really simple at that point. That, okay, next time when you go in a drawdown, maybe don't move your stop loss. Maybe don't remove your stop loss. You know, mentally knowing that, okay, you took a loss. Now maybe the next trade you're going to take, you're just going to focus on like 1 or 2 trades, and you're going to go from there. Because, like, you know, every time you take a loss, it's a mental hit because you're risking more than you want to lose. That's why it emotionally affects you. You know, so whenever you take a loss, what's this? Meaning more mentally and action wise. Oh, it's easy. Just focus on 1 or 2 trades, and I mean, just manage risk. That's it. You just have to manage risk. You don't manage risk, you take big losses. You manage risk, you don't take big losses. You know, and big losses affect you emotionally. And we can see gold over here. It's broken the low over here in the first, 4 minutes. If it continues down, this will be a pretty big move over here. 50 pip move here on gold to continue down. Hey, an idea for the broker: once a month, a day there where there won't be commissions on withdrawing. What? There won't be commissions on withdrawing? I don't know. This should encourage people to withdraw at least once a month, because I heard you talking that we should chase withdrawals.
So the issue with people talking about free this, free that, there's costs associated with moving money. And you as a client have to absorb those costs. They're not extraordinary, but you are trading, and trading is an activity of moving money back and forth. The reason why trading exists is because there's a spread and there's costs associated with moving money. So to try and cheap out on paying 1% or 2% for, a withdrawal or whatever it's going to be, you're not able to move the money for cheaper than that. That's the most times when a broker charges withdrawal fees or deposit fees, because there's a fee associated with the actual transportation of the money from the different areas that it's coming from. So we have to look at that as well. And I think a lot of people forget that it costs money to make money. So you're not going to get stuff for free, or let's do this or let's do that. A lot of it is already fees that are coming out because other people are charging the broker the fee. It's not the broker creating its own fee. It's the cost of doing the business at that point. So, I mean, like that whole free aspect or commissions, there shouldn't be any commissions, or shouldn't do this. It doesn't exist. There's no reality where there's zero. You're always going to pay for something in trading. You're either going to pay through the spread, you're going to pay through commissions. You always have to pay for some sort of activity when it comes to trading, because a broker is a pass-through. A broker is an intermediary. It is not some entity that is making money otherwise. It has to generate income in some way because it's connected you with the market at that point, and that's the job. If you don't want to pay fees, then connect yourself to the market, right? It's the same thing as like if people don't want to go to an auto mechanic shop and pay an auto mechanic to fix their car, learn how to fix your car yourself. You don't have to pay them, but you're paying based on the fact that somebody else can do something that you can't do. So that's sort of the other aspect of it. If you can do it, go do it yourself, and then you don't have to worry about those fees. But the majority of people understand that there's a cost of doing business.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Plus, also like when you go to the bank and you do a bank wire transfer, I mean, the bank tells you, hey, you have to pay a fee for this. So it's the same idea. When you're moving money around, you have to pay fees when you move money around. Your JPY went to the target here, as we talked about. This is the only pair that worked here. Your JPY went straight up. We had some issues to the left-hand side, and this is exactly what we talked about earlier on. Even though we have these rejections to the left-hand side, we're counting on the momentum in the New York session to move price beyond that area and continue on towards the major resistance we had here. So yeah, it was pretty good. Your JPY worked out perfectly. And also, if you look at the Chinese indicator, it it kind of made sense here too, because euro is strong and yen is weak. Calling it a day, gonna step away. Good day, good day, good day. What's happening over here? You know the YouTube chat? YouTube chat is a little country. That's what it is. It's a tiny little country. So every time I'm looking at the Zoom chat, you know, it's all like peace and quiet, and we're looking at the charts. And then I look at the YouTube chat. There are like 10 different conversations happening at the same time. Someone's fighting someone. Someone is talking about some next level stuff. There's always someone talking about crypto. There's someone talking about scams. You get the best of level. Yeah, man. You get the best of everything in the YouTube chat. It's like a fish market. Yeah, someone is saying the Zoom chat is vaccinated. That's why they're so aligned, you know. All right.
Vaccinated.
Yeah.
We have the antibodies.
Well, it just sort of goes to show you the difference between why people pay for things versus when people don't pay for things.
Yeah, there's peace and order, you know, in one part.
Yeah, like, I mean, the majority of people are here to learn for free, but then when it's free, other people come in and they'll just try and disrupt things.
Yeah. It's like that saying, right? You always get what you pay for.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is candle break all resistances area and close above resistance here. Okay, above 140-100. If you took the situation, could you take an impulsive buy? Yes. Yes. Would have taken this impulsive buy because anticipating volume in London session. And then you had the other opportunity with this retest here for price to continue up as well. Oh wow, it looks like your JPY is continuing further than our target here. Looks like we can come up to fill this wick at 233. Are you guys on Zoom not worried about China spying on your finances? I don't think China is worried about spying on someone's $10,000. I mean, China has bigger things to worry about. What's this? If you were trading now, how would you have entered GJ and how?
There we go.
Let's take a look here. I would not have entered. Maybe, you know, I would have entered on the 30-minute right over here. You would have entered on the 30-minute right over here, but then looking at the 15-minute probably would have closed everything because now the candles are just printing side by side. And the way this candle is moving down, it may be coming down to the support, and the new 4-hour may break this area 140, 100 to continue back in the range.
It's like a head and shoulders pattern.
Yeah, yeah, like that head and shoulders in 15 minutes.
Okay. Nothing here.
Waiting for the dislocation to happen here. For EJ, I was worried about 127.040 level to the far left as a strong resistance. Why was it ignored? Limbu Shandes. We talked about this 4 times about why we were ignoring that area because of the volume in New York session. So I guess you can go back to the stream here and kind of like, you know, rewatch that part.
Not trading, but call is just giving you some sort of opportunities.
Oh yeah, straight gonna move down to 1929. Here we go. Wow, crazy.
There you go.
Didn't really break the high there.
That's
Just
it. 20 pips in less than 2 minutes. 1 minute actually. Yeah. And now we're heading toward 1930. That's where I want to see this 4-hour candle closing. Damn it. Ah. Damn.
yeah, it looks like pound yen is also going to continue moving bearish here.
Yeah, the structure is good.
2 minutes left for this candle to close, and the next one can continue on moving down. We respected the high, broke the low. We're at support over here. The next one needs to break this low, and then we can continue moving. 2 things really played out here. Your JPY buys, gold sells from this retest. It still got some more room to fall though.
Yeah, still.
Guys, pound dollar just fell nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, dollar's getting pretty strong. Dollar getting strong, pound getting weak.
Pound
dollar. Thank you. Just got out of the gold sells for 20 pips on 2 positions. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Very nice. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah. When you're referring to the London volume, are you purely meaning when London opens, or just like when London opens, right? Because you have pre-London. Pre-London has a lot of volume from like, you know, like 1:30 a.m. Eastern to like 3 a.m. Eastern. And then you got a London open from 3 a.m. to like, you know, 4:30 a.m. There's still some volume at that time. So it's about knowing the times when there's volume. That's very important. For people who don't know, there's an article right over here. If you go to dominionmarkets.com, you go over here, you go to education, and then you go to best times to trade. You got the best times to trade. These are volume times. You go to pairs to trade. Then you got different pairs, what pairs you can safely trade in sessions, and explanations too on why. You know, so it's something really important you can look at. Oh wow, straight down over here.
Yeah.
Crazy. Such a nice feeling to have a runner going with no risk at all. Yeah, man. I mean, 80% of the time, the runners always get stopped out at break even. All the time, 80% of the time. You know, but then there's 10% of the time, 20% of the time when runners keep on moving. I'm up 125% on Dogecoin, and I'm still staying until $1 price. Oh, nice. handyman renovations. So see, this is what I'm talking about. People think understanding vast amount of work. I think the best way to build a brand is to give value. You know, like when you give value, you build a brand, you build brand loyalty. I mean, let's take a look over here. When it comes to economic releases, when news is bad, does most of the time provide weakness for the currency or affected by volatility? It's all subjective, you know. I mean, it's all subjective. If the news is bad, I mean, if you look at gold here, right? We had ADP bad news. It was really, really bad news. I mean, it was negative. They were expecting, what was it expecting? 60,000, was it? 60,000. It came up to negative 123,000. News was bad. So with bad news, gold should be moving bullish. But it didn't affect that at all, because if you look at the technicals, if you look at the time, right? This was the time here. This was the 8 a.m. candle. You know, the 15-minute candle started right over here. News came negative. Price moved up a little bit, but it respected this technical level. You know, news was bad. Gold should have moved up, but it respected the technical level. It closed bearish, and then we know, you know, if it closed bearish, there's a high probability for it to continue down to retest this low over here. You know, so it's all subjective. I mean, if the technicals are going to favor the news, then it's going to move in that way. But here, technicals didn't really favor the news. It favored the technical areas here to respect and continue.
And now price action is doing a beautiful thing on gold. Everything is lining up, you know, creating lower highs, lower lows. It's a beautiful thing on gold.
Yeah.
You also have to think of it too with news events. What has the market already figured out, right? A lot of times news events that come into the market, they're not surprising to the institutions, especially news events that have a specific time or that are regular news events, right? So if you go on Forex Factory or whatever news outlet you go on, there's already predetermined times that these news releases happen. So you have to understand that if you're moving billions of dollars a day in the market or whatever you're doing as a large player, you have people already doing the work as an analyst to, I don't want to say guess, but to put together a probability that this is the information that's going to be released. So a lot of times news can already be, you know, baked into the price of the market because the market is already ahead of the release, right? It's almost like if you were a sports bettor, right? And a real sports bettor, when they do sports betting, they make their own lines already because they have programs that'll automatically do that, right? So, excuse me. They'll put their line out inside their program, right? So, you know, they want the Miami Heat to win by 5 because they've done the calculation. And then they'll wait for the Vegas odds to come out. And then based on what Vegas says, they can determine how close were they in terms of the actual thing, or is there an opportunity here because they see something that Vegas doesn't? Because obviously Vegas gets paid to win, right? So it's the same thing with the market. The government releases a statement, the market itself, the big players are already anticipating that statement because they've had people working on it. So it's something to keep in mind at that point.
So Ted, just a quick question. So what about the times where there is like a surprise? Say for instance,
that's where you get those big spikes, right? So that's where we get these giant spikes. So like a vaccine news, they can't plan for that, but they can plan for the outcome of an election, right? They're saying, okay, if this happens, this should happen. This happened. This, but a vaccine, the statement gets released. It's very rare that someone knew about it before the statement gets released, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I think they're still clever with it, Ted. Like, even with the vaccine release today, coincidentally, it was at the weekly high on gold and also at the daily resistance.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that's the manipulation part of it, right? So what's the catalyst going to be for us to reject a higher level? So when fundamentals match up with the technical levels, right? That's what see, this is where a lot of people will try and play off these levels, right? And this is where new traders get in trouble. They'll say, okay, well, we were at 1950, we have to drop, right? So we were talking about that yesterday on the live stream. We're saying, okay, 1950 is a heavy area, a weekly zone. How are we going to react around there? And we need a catalyst. So, you wait and wait and wait. And if you waited till today, you got your confirmation on the daily to say, okay, we are going to drop. So you could have managed your trade off of the 4-hour rejections or the hourly rejections at that point, because now we got that major drop and you were able to get, 50, 60 pips. Like, these were the things that we were talking about yesterday, because yesterday, if you were trying to trade gold, nothing really happened. I mean, it was very difficult to trade that range. And then today with gold, we got the move that we wanted. So you can see, if you go watch yesterday's replay and then you listen to today's stream was a lot easier to trade gold than it was yesterday, right? And we called it yesterday that it was very difficult because of the fact that we were at a weekly level and we had to wait to see how it would react at that level. So these are things that, if you're a new trader or you're new to the stream, you could go watch Monday, Tuesday, and today's Wednesday. We talked about gold all 3 days, and we gave ideas all 3 days for gold in terms of how to manage your trades, but also what to look for and how to anticipate those movements. And then when they do appear, how to manage those trades at that point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're new for trading, you'll realize that these kind of big $10, $20 moves with gold, they will happen throughout the entire year. So if you miss today's trade, you didn't miss anything. We're in January. You will see this. It will happen a lot of times with all pairs. There will always be these big catalytic moves that go through the market. So you just have to sit back and let the market do its thing. And the reason why we say focus on 1 or 2 pairs is so that you're able to catch these ideas at that point.
Is that you, Mac? You look different, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Did you guys see any trades today?
Woohoo! Pretty boy.
No.
Yeah, I just took an impulse based on GJH1. So on the opening of the 9 a.m. candle, when we retested 140 with that wick, when we came back down and broke previous low, took the entry and exit when we tapped into 139.777.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna take an entry at 141.30 as it was breaking the low of the previous candle of the previous wick's low, but I didn't.
I like that kind of trade, man. It's been working very well for me in the past couple months, like at NYC Open or close to NYC Open. That wick retest to previous zone and break previous low and shoot back down.
Right. Plus it closed with like barely any wick on the 30.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome, Mac.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, why do you guys scream, man?
All right, Mac attack.
All right, rakeel Zuhur.
Looks like you got exhausted from the Asian session yesterday, so you slept in. Yeah.
I was tired.
Tired, eh? Pretty rough session last night.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is streaming. Is trading 3 sessions.
There was too much volatility in Asia. I couldn't handle it. Yeah, did you get my gift or no?
Oh,
If-
no.
I think it's getting there today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Max sent me a gift.
Very nice.
Yes. I can't wait to use it.
I think it's gonna be pretty dope since he's done a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Mac reminds me of myself when I used to trade the Asian session, then I would wake up for London session, and then I'd wake up for New York session.
Bro, if you wake up around 3:30, you're gonna find Max sending charts in the chat. If you wake,
That's a lie.
if you're
That's
up
a lie,
around
bro.
9:30 for Asian session, Mac is there.
This guy's
Yeah.
Mike
How
is.
many? How many pre-workout you take?
I take 3 scoops a day.
That gives you the energy for London, Asian, everything.
Nah, that just does. I just can't sleep. That's all.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna head off over here. Gotta put the garbage out today.
Bye bye. That's the goal for the day.
Yeah,
Talking option.
that's my mission here today, to get the garbage out.
Bye.
All right, everybody, take care.
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you,
man.
Raja.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Have fun.